Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Ncast. This is week number 7's Ncast. I'm your host, Orange, and with me this time is Gomel Jack and Durangel.
Hello, hello.
Did you say Endcast? I think I'm in the wrong place.
Yeah, no, you're in the right one. It's
Are
okay.
you sure?
Yes,
It-
yes.
it's the wrong letter of the alphabet.
Just turn it on its side. It's fine. So, yeah, week 7 here. We have a lot to talk about. Uh, but first, I guess we should start with our first match here being Uchiha Clan at Hidden Sound. And this match did not go how I expected it to.
Me either.
Yeah. It and it used to be on sound too.
Yeah,
So,
I did. We planned a lot for this match.
yeah. So, it was odd because sound just kind of like derped the whole
Well, tell you, dirt.
to Yuya specifically, but to Yuya stayed out like a lot. So
Way too much. Yeah.
yeah, which is really unfortunate because Gomo and I, on previous weeks always talk about like, oh, to Yuya, like she has potential, and I still think
She
that.
does.
Yeah,
Just needs the right partners.
exactly. Like I think there's not like enough emphasis put on how important team composition is. Like
Yeah.
you have to realize certain teams work better than others, and
Yep.
yeah, and it's unfortunate that you have to stick people on different teams to see if it works and if it doesn't work.
Yep.
But yeah, this was definitely a case of this not working at all.
No, and unfortunately, 'cause when Orochimaru was out, he was doing good.
Oh yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, I was just really confused like watching this match because I was like,
Yes.
what sound? Like I know all the effort that sound was putting into
Yes.
this. Yeah, and it was just really odd. But Uchiha was being like extremely aggressive. I don't think
Oh,
we've ever seen this kind of aggression from them.
yeah, it was scary. They gave no time for Taiyu to stay back and do her range stuff.
Yeah,
They were constantly on her.
It was preseason Uchiha right
yeah,
there.
exactly.
It was very scary. And for sound, it was just very surprising how it happened because they had
Yeah.
a strong showing the week before against Jin.
Yes.
Looked really good, and even in the previous Incast, I mean, I was saying that like I actually put it in the sound's favor just because
Same
of the
here.
fact that I thought with Tayuya and her Dokis, I thought that would really kind of cause disruption or block a lot of projectiles that Uchiha would throw out, but it became a non-issue.
Yeah. The other two lineups did a lot better, but
Yeah,
not enough.
they certainly did. Yeah, it wasn't enough to really salvage
Yeah.
what happened
Snake
before.
Cape was trying.
Yes.
He was trying at the end, but
Alt.
the hole was too deep for him.
Yeah.
He could not slither out of that hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, good for Uchiha though. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm really happy to see them
Yeah.
starting to crawl out of the the hole that they've been in since the beginning of the main season.
It was definitely an impressive showing from them.
Oh yeah, for sure. So on to our next one, we have Hokage at Sage.
That was close.
Yeah, it was a super
It was
close
close.
match.
One of the closer matches this week.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite one from this week, to be honest.
It was a fun watch. I will say that. My things didn't work out as well as I planned, but it still worked.
Yeah, there were some aspects that Sako and Ukon didn't really do what they were supposed to.
No.
Yeah, and I mean,
The first lineup kind of tanked.
yeah. But it's still, even with that in mind, it's still super impressive that it came so close in the end. I think that
Well,
says
for
a
both
lot.
sides.
Yeah.
Yes.
Both sides have been struggling, and I think
Yeah.
with what we've seen, if we continue to see performances like this, then we're going to see them start to rise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did really good.
Yeah, and this is one of those cases. Like I remember saying in the actual episode, I was like, "Yeah, I mean, both these teams are struggling. They both need wins, but one of them has to at least walk away with from a win with this." So
And me benching Naruto probably hurt because I
yeah,
wanted to save him for the divisional.
well, that makes sense. That's
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, really entertaining match. Hokage also was bringing it quite a bit too.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Boruto. I enjoyed
Yep.
that entire team. I think it
Yeah.
was Boruto, Naruto, and Minato. I think it was.
I think so. I will double check.
Yeah.
Where are you, Hokage? Where
Okay.
where are they on this list?
I
They
found
H2?
it. No, it was Hiruzen Hashirama. Oh, the first one was Boruto and Hiruzen. That's what it
Yeah,
was.
Hiruzen. He was good.
Yeah, and
Hiruzen,
then Awakened a couple
Yeah,
times.
he did. That's
Yeah.
what he was built for.
Every
was in
time
a,
he
he was in an
awakened.
awakening build, and he
Yep.
awakened not once, but I think twice
Hmm.
Three or-
or 3 times. It
I
was
think, I think once every match.
Yeah.
It was, and he used it well.
Yeah, the first round not as much.
Yeah.
But the other ones he completely made up for it with the amount of aggression that both him and like Boruto put out. And
If I remember right, the Awakening is one of the things that sealed my final lineup's demise.
yeah, that Team Awakening was
Yep.
yeah. But yeah, I mean Boruto has definitely been improving a lot. I know I've been a little worried about how good he might be, but he's definitely been shaping up to be pretty good. And that Team Awakening with him and Hiruzen, he has that gentle fist on to boost his already existing chakra stealing properties.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. I would love to see more of him, more of that type of build on him as well, because I find it very interesting. But yeah, I'm really impressive from both teams. It was honestly, like I said, my favorite match from this week, hands down. It was the most entertaining one for me.
Yeah, I like that it came so close with such little time to plan. It's like, yeah, it got close.
Yeah, it was
That's
super good match.
You know, it's two teams of really good characters.
Yeah, and two teams have also been struggling, and it feels like you are both very evenly matched.
Yeah.
Which is great. That's always great to see.
and it shows that you're kind of going in the right direction, which is good.
Yeah, and speaking of evenly matched, or the lack thereof, our next match is Stone at Jinchuriki.
Oh, yeah. Derp, 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 derp.
Yeah, derp, derp, derp. Durangel knows about that. Yeah, I don't know what to say about this. This is just, oh
It was
man.
unexpected. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, because after the previous week's performance of Stonehead against Kurenai, coming off of the preseason or the trimester break, it was a new team practically, and this just felt like a step back. It
Yeah,
was
this
weird.
is clearly not indicative of the kind of strength that Stone can pull out. It's, you know, I feel like it was just a bunch of derping from them, and
Yep.
not
Running
even
into, attacks and ultimates and not
Yeah.
dodging it,
exactly,
not using subs right. Yeah, it was just.
and not even being all that aggressive either. Like,
No.
yeah, it was just I know we're 7-0 now, and that's crazy. That's a crazy record, but I really feel like Stone should have given us a run for our money in this match.
Yes.
It had all the components to do so, and it just, for whatever reason, it just
Yeah,
was not
it
to
just
be.
didn't happen.
it sunk like a stone. Unfortunately, because again, that was a match that really concerned us, because with Kidomaru, with Han, the combination of Mu and Onoki, I mean, that
That we
they proved to
heard.
be a deadly duo, and then
Yeah.
and the ultimates from Kido. I mean, it's crazy what they can do.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
certain.
it's just a match that happens, unfortunately, sometimes.
Yeah.
There's not much data to be gained from it one way or another.
Yeah, and that's probably the worst part about it.
Yeah.
You can't really, I mean, you can make assumptions about what happened and why certain things happened the way they were, but really it was just, you can't really glean much from the match if you're actually going in and trying to be analytical about it, which is why
Yeah.
I'm having an extremely hard time saying anything about it.
Yeah, it happened and it
yeah,
was over. And
it was a match.
there's no information to gain from either side.
No, not at all. So with that, we'll get into a better match.
More interesting match, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Kurenai at Akatsuki. And this one also felt like kind of a struggle here between these two teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Akatsuki was having some trouble, especially with Hidan, and this is also where I was starting to have a struggle too, because I was starting to go off the deep end at this point. After my match, I was just like, I don't care. And yeah, this match was really, I felt like it was really drawn out with all with all of what Shino was doing, and
Yeah.
yeah, and Akatsuki not being able to actually close in. And of course, Kurenai did actually clinch the win, which is nice to see after last week where they did lose to Stone. So it's good to see them getting a win here, their first win of the trimester. Unfortunately, Akatsuki has yet to get their first win of the trimester. But yeah, I mean, we could see it. We could see it in the future.
Yep. They're not a weak team, so.
Oh no, not by any means.
I mean, and Hidan was starting to do things later at the
Later.
end. I think with single Kakazu, he was still doing things. I don't think he's by all means bad. I felt like with what he was against, it felt like it was kind of counterintuitive for him because it was just kind of against his more melee
And
assets.
those long drawn-out matches seem to benefit Kurenai more than other teams.
Oh yeah, for sure. If they can draw out a match, then they've gained the advantage.
Yep.
Basically.
Especially when they can chip away damage.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Stay relatively healthy.
I feel like Conan probably would have been good to have in against Kurenai, but obviously they had her benched.
And again, divisionals the next week.
That's
so
true.
A lot of times, you're looking at your more consistent members, and you want to get them benched and have them ready. So Akatsuki, and honestly, Conan actually is a strong member, and I never thought I would say that about Conan.
Yeah.
She's definitely been earning her place on the team.
For sure. Yeah, you got to take most of these matches here with a grain of salt because most of these teams are not going into it with their strongest lineups.
No.
Yeah. But we'll be saving that for next week, and
that's what next week's predictions are for.
Yeah, exactly. So, moving on to match 5, we have Asuma at Cloud, and this one was a slaughter. Yeah, it was a slaughter by Asuma.
Yeah, that's scary, actually.
Yeah,
that was a sweep, wasn't it?
I believe so.
I think so. Yeah, it was very. It was not drawn out. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, exactly. It felt like Cloud was kind of like derping a little bit, like they weren't getting it just felt to me like they weren't performing like they usually do.
Yeah.
And
But
Asuma was
just pure aggression.
Yeah, spam, aggression. Yeah. Asuma definitely being on their game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say that I've seen the trend somewhat with Cloud, and that usually whether you can just when they had Utakata, now they have Gengetsu, that they really like to, if they start a lineup, they'll usually like to have them in a two-man lineup of Gengetsu with someone else in the next two lineups, and they did the same with Utakata. I'm not sure if I'm really a big fan of doing that all the time because it's like so. And for example, this week they had the Rekage, Abkage, and B, strong combination. But then all of a sudden, you got Abkage, Gengetsu. Okay, that didn't look very well at the end because Abkage was out doing most of the fighting, and then next up, Gengetsu B.
Yeah.
I just. Honestly, with how he's been doing now, I mean, he did have a decent performance previous week. I mean, even though they lost, he kind of came at the end. But honestly, I would have personally started with Gengetsu.
Yeah.
Because then you get him in there. If he does well, he does well. If not, then you got the rest of the team that is very solid that can fall back off on him. Because honestly, at this point, it almost feels like Yukito probably would have held better because he just it hasn't worked really well for him. He's on a small map.
Yeah, exactly.
And he can't get that distance, and he doesn't really like to finish those combos. So I'm not really a fan of some of these two-man teams that they cycle through between like before it used to be Darui Utakata, B Utakata. Now it's like just kind of swapped out. Now you got Gengetsu.
Well, and it's trouble too because especially when you have a new member, it's trouble putting them in a two-man lineup because. To some extent, you want to get more data on them, but at the same time, if they're underwhelming, then it's just them and another character, and at that point, you can't really salvage it unless your other character is absolutely amazing, which is usually not the case, and it's usually not enough to save the team from losing. So. Yeah, it just feels like there's a little bit too much of an emphasis being put on Gengetsu, and I understand that they want to try to improve him, and he's been a lot better than he was in the preseason. I'll say that much, but he still feels like the weak link on the team currently.
Yeah, or you could even start with a 2-man team with him in it, and then have the second lineup be a 3-man team with him in it, and just like do a little changing. Just maybe not close them as much, because especially if he's not doing well. I mean, if previous seasons, I would not have wanted to have Utakata in our last lineup to be the clutch. So
yeah, we would always use Utakata in like our middle lineup, if anything, just to make use of those handicaps. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I won't say that it's wrong of Cloud to try him, but there were just so many other choices, and I feel like, especially with their super small home stage, it doesn't really work out for Gengetsu.
Maybe experiment more with different lineups.
Yeah, they have like, if you look at their team, they have really, really scary people.
Yeah, they're strong.
I mean, both Raikage.
Yeah.
and Indarui.
His spam potential is great.
I mean, some powerhouses, some heavy hitters. I mean, third Raikage, he's been looking really good.
Yeah.
He's always been pretty good though, hasn't he? And even in the other game.
Oh, well, he was not in the other game. Or are you thinking about Gomo said third Raikage.
I was thinking about A, yeah.
But no, the other Abkage, as I guess we're gonna just regularly call him that now. Yeah, he would have always been good as well. Yeah. And I was actually super surprised that he was inactive in the first trimester. So I mean, it's really good to see him in action as well, because he's also been proving to be fairly aggressive.
He was throwing out a lot of ults. He just wasn't connecting with them.
Yeah. Which, I mean, the tendency is good. Like almost saying last week, the tendency to do it is still good. But I would try him on different ultimates though, because he did Gamer Junkie, their captain, did assign different ultimate defaults to his different costumes.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, try him on different costumes maybe, and see if you can kind of vary how he plays.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that would be a good idea. As for Gengetsu, I don't know. Just try not to like focus so much on him in your lineups, because if he falls flat, then that's basically your entire lineup.
Build around him. Just he's a member of your team, and just don't make him the sole kind of focus.
Right, and he has his places where he can work.
And certain lineups where you put him, maybe think about what support types the members that he's paired with are. If you have someone with a charge guard or dash cut or something like that, to help him out.
Yeah.
That's ideally the best situation for him.
I think so too. With that out of the way, our next one is Sand at Mist. And I was expecting Mist to win this, but I was not expecting Mist to win this so handily.
Yeah.
It was. I wouldn't say it was on Asuma versus Cloud level, but
no,
it was still Mist. Wow, their damage that they put out in this match.
Yeah, I know in the previous Incast too, me and Darky both had kind of thought that they would bench the Tamari because it's a small map and divisionals are the next week. So but I definitely did not expect it to be I thought it'd be a fairly close match.
Oh yeah,
because you have Rasa, you got Kankuro in there. I mean, and Kankuro has, at least in the previous weeks, been showing some of that spam potential, and he actually even tried this week, just didn't connect much.
But they didn't build around it either. Like they gave him I think a defense plus or something. I don't even know, but it wasn't a spam build.
Yeah,
and it's just odd to me considering what he did the other week too. And I feel like that was it was defense plus 2, Berserker released power, so they wanted him to awaken, and obviously that did not happen. So they're in a fairly good position, I guess. Trying gimmicky builds is all right, but it's not like they're in a super secure spot at this moment in time. So it kind of confuses me as to why they went that route.
Yeah, whereas Mist was just on point the whole...
Yeah, the entire time. Like, Mist was just... If they weren't being aggressive, they were spamming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mifune was good. Little boy with staff was really good.
The little boy with staff. Oh God, is he dead or not dead?
Hat with shark was really good.
Oh yeah, hat with
I
shark
feel
was
like
good.
there should have been like a disclaimer at that part where it's like, have some Advil next to you to as a warning.
'Cause this shit is gonna give you a headache.
You have been warned.
Yes,
I was hoping Piff would have said hat with shark or shark with hat.
yeah, it was.
I like that name for Kasame.
I like that too. I might start using that. But yeah, I mean, Mist, really impressive as always, showing to be a real force of nature, I guess, because of water. Get it?
But yeah, I was impressed with what Mifune was doing for a lot of them.
Yeah, Mifune was good too.
Yeah.
Fairly aggressive, and yeah, I mean it was really cool to actually see him in action now because obviously he doesn't fit on any teams now.
Yeah.
So he's basically just gonna be in free agent hell forever. But it was still good to see him. I mean, yeah, Miss just impressing as always.
Yep.
So next we have a match that I actually really enjoyed for several reasons. Is Team Kakashi at Team Guy.
That was a fun match to watch.
Yeah, it really felt like a breakthrough for Team Kakashi. Like, they've been really struggling these past 2 trimesters so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as Gomo and I have said before, we're currently assisting in terms of building Kakashi. And while I have not had as much time as I would have liked to help them, I still, I'm still invested in their growth and their progress, and especially because when I first joined Naruto League, the first team I ever joined was Classic Team Kakashi.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, before I even, was anybody. So yeah, I mean, I do have some love for the team, and it made me really happy to see them beat Guy.
It's a good team.
Yeah.
I will say, Sasuke was looking really good.
Oh yeah.
With he actually connected like that grab. I think that is that a grab, right?
It is his grab, yeah.
Or yeah, it has such range to it, and he used it so much.
I know, that's what I've been saying. Like, that grab is the best grab in the game, in my opinion. Like, hands down, best grab in the game, because you can just literally walk into it, and it's so big and it lasts such a long time that the AI is just gonna get hit by it over and over again, as we saw. And with ultimate grab on that, it's like that's a bunch of damage at any one time. It's like an entire jutsu's worth of damage just based off of a grab.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was a huge contributing factor. But I also really enjoyed the Kakashi and Sakura team, and that was also a really good. Because we've seen that team before, but with the additional tweaks and changes, especially PTS Sakura with that 5 element seal, she got a lot more aggressive. And
I don't think I think she used like
once I think, yeah.
which is great.
That's awesome, yeah. And she was super good when she wasn't spamming it. So, yeah, I think maybe they found something for her.
And against Guy,
Guy.
They're a very strong team. I think didn't they have Lee benched? Was it Lee benched?
I think they might have, because I
They
know
have
they.
their divisionals next week, so I think they had one of their stronger members out.
Yeah, they had they did have Lee in. They had Guy benched.
Okay, it's still pretty strong. That Lee and Guy combination.
Oh yeah. The Lee and Guy combo is probably their strongest team that they do have. But 10-10's no slouch. Obviously Konohamaru was no slouch. Really good spammer, and he did land a few ultimates here. But yeah, it was really impressive. Another really, like I said, the Hokage and Sage match is still my favorite, but I have to say that for this week, this one comes as a close second. So yeah, our final match of the week, which actually turned out to be a complete blowout, was Team Taka at Team Minato.
Yeah.
And this match is not what I expected at all. Like, I mean,
It didn't go well.
no. I mean, especially not for Taka. Like, I expected Taka to win, but even if they had lost, I was expecting it to at least be close. And this went to a round 4, I believe, which is not that close. It's not a sweep at least, but for a while in this match, it was looking like they were in danger to get swept. So I mean, Minato, of course, always being such a strong team. Not showing any signs of stopping that really. And Taka, they're continuing their struggle here. I mean, they won against Hokage, but Hokage is also a team that's struggling currently. So, take that with a grain of salt. But previously, they had lost their 2 matches right before that. And it's strange because they open things up so strong. And I know what they can do. So it's kind of sad. But, Minato did really well. A lot of aggression from young Kakashi, Madara, Rin, yeah. Just the whole team was on point, really. And it seemed like it was pretty much the opposite from Taka, which, even saying that, I mean, even with that being taken into account, it's still impressive that they got to round 4 with how much of a mess things were, I guess I'll say. But, yeah, I mean, Taka definitely, I know what they can do. We have to face them next week, so hopefully things change, because I do not want that to happen to them again. And
Well,
I do
be as one-sided.
Yeah, and I definitely don't want to be the one to do it. So yeah. But yeah, that is our week 7 recap. A pretty good week overall. Not our best week, but had a few really good moments here and there. Yeah, really good standout moments here and there. And
and a full week of Biff.
Yeah, and I had a lot of fun actually commentating it.
I could tell. A lot of laughs to be had.
Yeah. So, yeah, here's the part where I would normally do endcast questions, but it looks like we don't have any. So
We can make up some on the fly and trip into random users.
Yeah, do it.
Is Piff currently seeing anybody?
From Anthony52.
Oh, Anthony.
Oh, you. Yeah, we usually do have questions here, but I guess this time we don't, and that's fine. That means we can spend more time on our predictions for next week, which is really, I mean, it's divisional, so I think that works out. So, our first match for next week is going to be Sound at Hokage. So what are you guys thinking about this one?
Well, I have to say Sound. I have to say hello to my
Yeah.
team. Plus, I did help plan that match, so.
True. What about you, Gomal?
Well, Hokage just came off of a close win against Sage, but a very impressive win. And Sound just came off of a really bad
Derp
showing.
match.
But it's hard to say because neither, or at least that wasn't really indicative of how Sound is. Whereas, if we get the Sound of previous weeks,
Week 6
against the Hokage of even last week, I would give it to Sound, just because of some of the powerhouses I've seen, like with Snake Cape.
Yep.
And again, I still think Tiyue can put in the work. I just think she was just having a hard time this last week, especially against Uchiha, who was unnaturally aggressive this last week. So, and that's the bane of ranged fighters.
Yeah.
If you're super aggressive, they can't do anything.
Unless you're Tamari.
Unless you're Tamari, then Tamari just. But yeah, so I'd give it to Sound, but I still think, again, it would be a very close fought match.
I think so.
Considering it's divisional, I hope it is.
Yeah.
And to the victor goes the spoils,
Yep.
Yeah, I'm actually going to say Hokage on this one because they've been really impressing me lately. I do share I was going to say consent. What? No, I do share the sentiment that it will be a very close match. And I give that my consent. But I do think
The
that
sound take Hokage.
yeah. To be your lawfully wedded interdivisional match. Your village. Yeah, I really think it'll be a good match either way. And I will say Hokage, though, just because what I saw from them last week really, really impressed me. And I know.
They were really good.
Yeah, and I know Sound is also at a really good spot right now, but.
Yep.
They still have some kinks to work out. They brought in Orochimaru, and at the moment he is kind of an unknown. So, yeah, I'm going to say Hokage. But I think Sound still has honestly, I think this might be another really close match. Just like...
I hope so.
Yeah, versus Sage.
I like close matches.
Yeah. Next up, we have Jinchuriki at Taka. So, Durangel, since Gomo and I's vote are going to be obvious, let's just ask you first.
I'm gonna vote for the team that has no losses.
Okay.
but I will say this: I want Taka to win because I don't like undefeated teams.
Yeah, and that's why I feel weird about it too, because I don't like undefeated teams either.
Yeah.
So I mean, no offense, but I want you guys to lose. So
It's fine. And
But everyone else does.
yeah, exactly.
but I still think you're gonna win. So
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be. I know it'll be tough either way.
Yeah.
Like, I do
especially
not.
after last week.
Yeah, I do not really count Taka's last match against Minato as being indicative of where they are. Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, the same argument could be made for us. That was a derp from Stone's End, and there's no guarantee that that'll happen against Taka. No. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, obviously it's my team, so I'm gonna say Jinchuriki, but I do think it'll be a good match, and I certainly hope it will.
Yeah, if we see the Taka of previous weeks past, very scary. I mean, like even the one that totally just destroyed Uchiha. When Uchiha was basically like the team to beat at that time, going into week 2 even, but they were undefeated in preseason, so that was just like so ridiculous. If we see something like that, I mean, there's not much you can do at that point. I mean, Taka can be very, very scary.
Very, yeah. Yeah, so regardless, I hope it's good and entertaining.
It's just like all divisional matches. I hope they're all good.
I hope this entire week will be good.
The team's best. They're bringing in like that, and this is 2 matches. It's pretty much what it is. 2 wins. So everyone wants to bring their A game.
Yes.
Of course, yeah. But yeah, so next we have Kakashi at Akatsuki. Another interesting match.
I'm not sure.
Another match where it feels like the teams are actually kind of evenly matched at this moment.
Yeah.
Like, especially taking into account Kakashi's last week.
Yeah.
It feels like they're more evenly matched than they would have been previously.
Yeah. I think I'm going to say Akatsuki.
Okay.
They seem like the more solid put together team right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say that too because we have more to go off of based with them. As for Kakashi, I'm glad that they're doing better now, but we still don't have enough past performances from them of them being impressive. So
I think it's a good team, but just not quite fully.
Not quite
fully
there yet.
There yet. Yeah, not solid enough yet.
What about you, Goma?
Well, I agree with all you said, but I would stick with Kakashi because someone's got to stick by him.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Yeah,
it's gonna be. It's tough. Akatsuki can be very scary.
I would still like Kakashi to win.
And since Kakashi's been struggling, I just see it more in Akatsuki's favor, just based on that alone. But if we start seeing something from like last week from Kakashi on a more regular basis, then if anything, it's going to be a really close match that I'm hoping for. And if we can get a win out of it,
yeah,
even better.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, so next we have Team Guy at Team Sage.
Well, my answer is obvious. So.
Yeah, but what do you really think about what Team Guy is bringing to the table with this match?
Holy crap!
They used a lot of money to do boosts. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm confident in my builds and my formations, but we'll see if if we predicted their stuff right and if we spent our money well.
Yeah, they'll probably be bringing that Guy and Lee team. Oh, it looks like they are.
And I'm sure Spammy McRange face is in.
Yeah. Yeah.
which is why we paid to change maps.
Good. Yeah, that's a good choice. What map was it?
I'm like, what's the smallest map you can think of? Good. That's the one we're picking.
Yeah, let me actually look and see which one was it that you swapped to. Oh, Stormcloud.
Stormcloud, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that is pretty small.
Yeah, that's like.
Yeah, aside from like Lightning Desert, that's probably what I would consider to be one of the smallest ones there is. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like even though Guy has a better record at this moment in time,
Very strong team.
yeah, I have a lot of faith in Sage, especially knowing what they have done in the past, and even though their win-loss record is kind of low, I don't feel like that's completely I don't think that indicates how strong they are in the least.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
a matter of working out the kinks and.
Yeah, exactly. And we've seen Sage like do really well against teams that are aggressive, through spam and through counter aggression as well. So yeah, I'm gonna vote Sage on this one.
For myself, I'll say Guy, just because Guy.
Yeah,
and Lee are
it's true.
That guy
and that other
Lee
guy.
Yeah, the guy in Lee team is
It's something.
Yeah.
You can't count that combination out, and even if it's on a small map, Tintin can be a force still, to be reckoned with, and it's tough. I mean, Sage looked really good last week.
Yes.
If they can bring that this week, then they definitely have a good chance. It's just going to be tough because if Guy really shows up,
yes,
it's going to be
hard to counter that aggression.
It's gonna be tough because it's such a small map too that Guy and Lee can close that distance real quick.
Oh
well,
yeah.
And both of us have a lot of up close fighters.
Yes, which does help.
Yeah. I feel like I feel like at the same time Sage has more of a capability to spam, where I mean Guy has that too in Konohamaru and especially Lee.
Yes.
Sage has that more throughout their entire roster.
Naruto, Hashirama.
Yeah, Jiraiya.
Stage does have the better support jutsus overall, I think, in terms of pressure and presence because Guy, they got a lot of close range stuff for like taking out the aggression, but like Sage, you got like wooden dragon, you got like 3 dragons.
Yeah.
3 different, 4 different machine guns technically.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, technically, if you want to count that other one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think it'll be a good match.
Yeah.
But yeah, on to our next one, which is Sand at Uchiha.
Ooh.
And I will say right off the bat, both teams did actually mess some things up with their lineups, which I will get into right now. At least it was both of them. So let's see here. For Uchiha Clan, they actually put 4 dash scrolls on their entire. Yeah, so they had Super Dash on Madara, Sasuke, and Shisui, and they had Ultimate Dash on Itachi. And the thing that got randomized off was Itachi's Ultimate Dash. So he loses 2 points of his build. Yeah. As for Hidden Sand, they tried to put Berserker on 3 characters, and the one who ended up losing his Berserker was Danzo. Not the worst. I mean, if Tamari had lost hers, I'd be singing a different tune.
Bad.
Yeah.
That'd have been very bad.
I will say, if at any point you're never sure if you can do X amount of this scroll, just check the actual thread because
the thread will tell you everything.
It does say the types and it is very explicit. It does tell you. So if you're never sure, just look. And if you aren't sure or you want clarification, just ask one of the staff.
Just ask. We'll be happy to help.
And yeah, we'll be happy to help you before you're stuck with a build that you're missing 2 points on or 1 point.
You never want to see that.
No, especially in a divisional. It's very important.
And man, I don't know with what Uchiha, if Uchiha can bring what they brought last week.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's just gonna be like a crater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that aggression could could even take out Tamari.
Yeah, and Tamari doesn't have a dash cut to back her up anymore.
Now, this is on Uchiha's map, which is a pretty big stage.
Yeah, it's
so
pretty big.
now that might work against them because Tamari, even though like with the combination, Tamari is shown to do well with Gaara and Rasa actually as as a team member. So
yes.
If she hangs back and throws stuff out, I mean, Uchiha has good stuff to maybe stop that, with their fireballs and all that stuff.
Yep.
But the distance, that might prove to be a detriment against Uchiha.
It's a question of if they can close in and take out Tamari without too much damage.
Well,
Yeah,
honestly,
or she has room to back out too. She can actually back out of the fight. She has room
that's
to
true.
And if they can stop, what's his face, Jerk Dad's ultimate spam.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is.
Rasa.
Rasa, thank you.
Yeah, and something that's often overlooked for Tamari's builds is that they always give her ultimate dash.
Yeah.
And that works for both your forward dash and your backward dash.
Yep.
So, yeah, that gives her a lot of space to get back. And Uchiha Clan losing their ultimate dash on Itachi kind of hurts.
Yes.
But honestly, in terms of these two stages, I feel like the Uchiha hideout is actually the smaller one. Because if you look at the 5-seal barrier cliff stage, that thing is massive. Like, it might be one of the biggest ones, aside from like Hidden or Great Ninja War Battlefield, which we banned because it was that big. Yeah, so I think this is, aside from that one, I think that 5-seal barrier cliff is probably the biggest one.
It might have been better to maybe pick a small map, but I still think they could do it. But I think I'm gonna pick Sand just because I know their range aggression can be really good, and they have to get up close. They have Gaara, they have Rasa, and they have really good up close characters too.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna say Sand as well on this one.
I'm gonna also say Sand for the reason that even though the records might be, I guess, kind of somewhat similar now, whenever Tamari is in, she is more often than not very, very, very consistent.
Yes.
To the point where if she's in against a team like Uchiha who hasn't really been consistent, I have to give it to them just because of that reason.
Yeah, and this is a really important match because they are tied in record. So, yeah.
And trying to beat Tamari without taking 1 or 2 caps is going to be a challenge.
Yeah, definitely.
Or going through all of Sand.
Yeah.
And if she's closing, that could be a reverse sweep. She's done it before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they really have to. She is closing.
God.
But yeah, we're going to have to see the Uchiha from week 7 to here, because otherwise then I would completely give it to Sand. But if we can see the Uchiha from this week, then
that aggression will help them if they can manage to get up close and keep Sand on their toes.
For sure.
Yeah, if that's the new Uchiha, then it's definitely gonna be a tough match overall.
Yes,
but definitely a little more in Uchiha's favor if that's the case.
Yep, but if it's other moves we've seen someone when they're not as aggressive or they're not as consistent, Sand will just swallow them.
Yeah, basically. So match 6, we have Cloud at Mist, and this one is not as hard of a choice for me to make.
I'm gonna say Mist.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, I know Mist is home, and like we should take this into account too. Cloud has a bunch of lightning jutsus, and those also get boosted by water in terms of damage. So I mean, Mist might have a lot of their jutsus boosted, but so will Cloud. But even so, I still feel like Mist is by far the more solid team at the moment. So I would still give it to Mist regardless. But it's just an interesting thing to note that Cloud has a pretty decent amount of jutsus also boosted on this map. So yeah. What about you, Como?
I would also say Mist, but I will say that if there was a match that Cloud could win, it could be this one in terms of, because the stage of Mists is a little bit smaller, and some of also from like Abkage, from Third Eye Kage, they're a little more close range. Yeah. And they, with the tendencies that we've seen them use them a lot, especially with the boosts that they get for being on water, it could definitely be one of the maps where basically you'll see Cloud really coming to their own a little bit. It all depends on kind of what they do with their lineup, who they bench, who they have in. Because again, I even personally, I feel that in this map, even though it's a water map, I would probably say it would have been probably in their best interest to probably give Gengetsu the bench, so they could have the strongest team they could have in here.
Yeah,
against them.
And also we have to take into account that Cloud doesn't have anything submitted for this week, so
that's also another thing.
That's why I'm saying missed.
Yeah, maybe random.org will help him. I don't know.
Maybe
it's helped teams in the past, but
yes,
you know.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think it could be an interesting match either way. We'll just have to see how it goes. But yeah, I am rooting for Cloud to an extent because they did miss their lineup, so I'm kind of not.
I'll be curious to see what lineups it gives them, because we might see combinations that are
They wouldn't
not
normally
very common,
use.
that they wouldn't normally use. So maybe you'll see something.
Yeah. So yeah, match 7 we have Stone at Asuma. And this is going to be another really match.
If we see the same Asuma we did this week, and the same Stone we saw this week, it'd be
yeah.
I don't
think that'll happen.
I don't think we'll see the same Stone we saw.
Yeah, we might see the same Asuma that we saw.
Which is still scary.
Asuma's been on fire. They've been really strong. Like they had a rough preseason, but they've been like ever since the regular season. They've been everyone. I mean, has been doing their part.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So it's a hard one to call.
Yeah, it's extremely hard to call.
Stone can be really good. Asuma can be scary.
Well, with Asuma, it seems like their bane has been ranged fighters, and
That's
Stone
true.
has 2. They benched Datara last week.
Yeah,
so they
Datara
have to have.
will be
They're gonna have him in at least. So if they have him and Keto in, that's 2 ranged
that
fighters.
could be good.
And that could be very good for Stone.
Yeah, put them and put Han in, and you'll have a force to be reckoned with. So I mean I'm gonna give Stone the benefit of the doubt and say Stone, and vote for them.
Yeah, I'll go for Stone as well.
I will stick by Anthony for Asuma for this, just because they are still very strong, and they've come through and they've beaten some of the stronger teams in this league.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be hard fought.
At the time that they were really strong.
I could see it going either way.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's gonna be another close match.
Yeah,
definitely. This is probably going to be. I really actually think this might be one of the more intense matches.
From this week.
If we see the Stone from week 6 and Asuma of last week, you're gonna have. That's gonna be crazy.
If we see like Jinchuriki and Taka in top form, I'll just be so happy. Like that and Stone and Asuma.
Yeah.
Oh man, I will be so stoked for those. So finally, we have our last match of the week. Minato at Kurenai. Minato being in another match 8. I think honestly, if there's any team in Getting Division that could take Minato down, it would be Kurenai.
Yeah.
Because of how well they deal with aggression, and Minato is so, as a team, they're so solely focused on aggression. But they they did bench Obito against Taka, and Obito is their weakest link in my opinion anyway. So yeah, they do have to have him in against Kurenai, but they could start him or something.
Yeah.
Still though, it's...
And who did Kurenai bench?
Let's see. Kurenai...
They benched Kiba, PTS Kiba.
Yes, they did. Oh, wait. Yeah, and Kurenai really went all out. No, they benched Shippuden Kiba, not PTS.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
On week 7, right?
Week 8.
Well, I was just looking at who they benched.
Oh, last week. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was who they. Well, whatever. Builds are supposed to be revealed by now. The only reason they're not is because. But yeah, Kurenai really went all out with this. They used Shino and Gaara in all 3 lineups.
Oof.
So.
Oh wow. Yeah. I might actually vote for.
Kurenai because of that.
Yeah, that's kind of scary.
I mean,
Yeah.
Gara has been pretty solid. I mean, Garas in general. They
And
got
he's a
an
dash
innate
cut.
defense plus,
Yeah.
dash cut for protection, and Shino has pretty much been there a really good. I mean, he's a slow burn character, but he's been very
unkillable.
solid. Like he's so slippery, and he continues, and he will continue to poison you,
Yep.
even
And if
after you are dead. He will poison you.
And if he can, peck away at Minato's health and keep them from being overly aggressive.
Well,
Just waste those subs. That's the one thing that any
Yeah.
ranged fighter can do. Waste
Yes.
those subs.
and they gave
Waste
him a defense +1 boost off of his already defense +1, so he
Ooh.
doesn't have. He has a defense +2 with no attack negatives.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
That's gonna help.
Actually, no, that's Gara. Sorry.
No.
They did do the same thing for Shino, but they gave him a defense +2 and then gave him an attack +1 as a boost. So it's basically the same thing. So both of
Yeah.
them have a defense +2 with no attack negatives. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Minato,
They're going all out.
for sure.
they had a single purchase for a Chakra +1 for Minato.
Makes sense.
They have Ren benched,
Oh, that's an interesting
which
choice.
is interesting. I don't see any triple 3 usages of anybody in a lineup
No.
on this one. Here, I basically see they're starting. They have Madara is the start. So pretty much if they take out lineup 1, then you have Obito with Minato and Kakashi, which that last combination.
Yeah, that
Again,
last one's really
that was a random.org discovery, I think.
It was.
But that's been one of their
Well, I think
strongest
they
things.
actually used it in preseason or something like that. I remember Dimension saying
Might not
that.
have shown as well, but the highlight was when we started this
Yeah,
season. But by all means, it's
exactly.
probably one of their strongest combinations or their strongest team, just like Sand.
Yeah.
With
I think
Tamari
it
and
is
Gaara.
their strongest one, yeah.
Ooh, yeah, it's gonna be it could very well be a very close fight.
Honestly, with the things that we've seen, taking into account them benching Rin, them having Obito in, and how all out that Kurenai has gone with their
Yeah.
lineups and builds, I'm
Yeah.
gonna say Kurenai.
I think I will too.
Now, I will say they did give Minato an ultimate +2, and they gave him that boost chakra +1 to
True.
negate the negative. Now, if we
Yeah.
see Minato do what he did last week, where he spammed that ultimate so much
Oh,
that
yeah.
it made Fu cry because of how many times he spammed it. Maybe not connected
God.
as much, but like he just
Spam. Oh yeah.
if he connects with it, and the members of unless it's Shino, most of the other members can be pretty close range. If he
Yeah.
hits with that, that's
Gonna hurt.
gonna hurt.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it'll definitely be interesting especially because Kurenai, through all three of their lineups, is going to be extremely
yeah, I
tanky
will say
as well.
Yeah.
Based on the information that we see right now, Kurenai has by far at least the stronger of what we see written
Yeah.
here in terms of like power. They have Shino in every lineup. They have Gaara in every lineup.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
it's-
So yeah, I'll say Kurenai, but I could see it being a very close
Oh,
match
yeah.
as well.
Yeah, I could still see Minato possibly winning it. And they could at this point in time they could afford to take a loss, but it's still they don't want to. Obviously, divisionals are still very important no matter
Well,
where
yeah,
you
'cause,
are.
I mean, even if you're far ahead, there's enough time left in the season to lose that lead.
Exactly, we're only halfway through.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, that is it for all of our predictions and pretty much everything with this
For the
endcast.
week.
Yeah. So thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you, Durangel, for coming on. I'm sure we'll have you on again sometime if you want to. That's up to you. I mean, we'll have to
Oh, yeah.
probably kidnap you from Zcast again.
That's what's up. Yeah.
But yeah, so thank you, Durangel. Thank you, Gomel, as well, for being here again. And thank you all for listening. And have a good night and take care.
Bye bye now.
Bye bye.